Hi Vijaya.
Hi, Ayushree. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How about you?
All good. Thank you so much for agreeing to come to our show.
Nice. Yes.
You must have seen in the group we had some, Rachna has a last minute emergency, so
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, we just got to know right now only. We could not reach out to her, so I reached out to Shri and she confirmed that there was an emergency at her
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, but it's okay. We will get our conversation going. We'll just wait a few minutes for Shri to join us. She's just
Definitely.
joining, and then we'll start.
Yes, yes.
So, Vijaya, once we are live here on Vidphone, we are concurrently live on all our social media channels. That's on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So, a lot
Okay.
more people are viewing us live from all the channels. And in case
That's
I have shared a last minute reminder, if you want to share it with anyone on WhatsApp or
yeah.
just
I did that. I did
yes,
that to my team and family and friends.
yes,
I
wonderful.
wanted them to join and listen at least what I do.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So we'll just wait for around 2 to 3 minutes more and then we will just start the session.
Sure, sure, sure.
Wonderful.
So you're based out of Bangalore?
Yes, Vijay, I'm based out of Bangalore.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just check with Sri quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's just joining Vijaya. So
Okay.
maybe, we'll just welcome everyone and we'll just, I'll just introduce a little on, why we do this show, etc. And she's here.
Yeah,
Hi,
definitely.
Shri.
Hello, hi
How
Hi.
are
Vijaya,
you?
hi Ayushree. How are you girls?
Yeah,
All
I'm
good.
great.
That's
What
nice.
about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Good to restart this. We took a short 1 month break in between, and Vijaya, we are restarting this. This is the eighth session, by the way, and
Yeah.
we completed seven before, and we are restarting this with you. So very happy to have you with us today.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, and a very good evening to everyone who has joined us today, who is viewing us live across all our social media platforms. And thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for obviously, planning this amazing. This series with me, trusting Vidphone to be able to do this for all the entrepreneurs in Mysore. We are privileged to be able to talk to so many wonderful women from Mysore and know about their stories. And thank you, Vijaya, for taking out time today. Just to inform everyone, we had a situation which was unfortunate. Our other panelist, Miss Rachna, she has an emergency, a medical emergency, due to which she could not join us today. So wishing Rachna a speedy recovery and hoping that we can, invite her soon to our next shows. So we will keep the conversation going with Vijaya and Sri Lakshmi and myself today. And Sri, anything you want to, start, say before we start?
Sure, and welcome, Vijaya. Thank you so much for accepting this invite. And
Yes.
I say, as Ayushie just told, Rachana is not here. We have generally two women entrepreneurs on each of our shows, so that we can find out how we complement each other and how we see a synergies between the women entrepreneurs. I mean, we are all very tough species as a species, but we still need that, a shoulder, a emotional thing. And very, very happy to have you actually on the, a shoulder, a emotional thing. And very, very happy to have you actually on this show, especially this eighth one. And it is after a gap. And why I'm saying that is, all these days when we spoke more about women and their challenges and their problems and their successes and whatnot. Now, today, for the viewers, it's really important to know that Vijaya comes from the luxury segment. Now, that doesn't mean that she comes from the Gucci bags and the, all the nice things that you see on the luxury, either clothes or, bags or shoes. That's what people generally relate to when you talk to them about luxury and women. They say, हाँ सही बात है, the rubies and the emeralds. That's all they can think of. Here I have a woman entrepreneur, and I'm really in awe of her. It's not the first time I have told her. I've told her a couple of times. Somebody who understands a very, very male-dominant industry. Luxury cars are the man's world. Yachts, you can't even think that one lady, women entrepreneur would go and buy a yacht, um, even if she was living not in Mysore in Kaveri River, but at least in the Goa or Mumbai. At least we don't come across. I'm not saying people don't do it. I'm not saying women don't do it. But at least in general, people don't come across such women who would be able to do business in this segment. So Vijaya really has stolen my heart from the time that I came to know that she is from this segment, and she has lot of accolades actually as a professional. Not just that she started a business and she is in only in this sector. As such, also her professional career has been very, very beautiful, beautifully carved, and I think that is the reason she also is able to cater to this male dominated segment where the cars and the torques and the luxury things and why the cost is so much. And I have so many stories, Vijaya. I'll speak to you about when I went to buy my the first Audi. We bought a A6, and literally I sat there from 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning till 4 p.m. No food, no coffee, no water. And I actually negotiated the price. So
Okay.
what I'm saying is you need to know the knack of to be in this industry, and you don't get too many customers. It's not like Central, right? That you will have a 50 customers, one will 10 will buy or two will buy. Here you get only four customers, and in that if you have to make a business happen.
True.
So big welcome to you. And the series starts really with a big inspiration as well as a zing that we have somebody as a celebrity, or at least herself a celebrity, and she caters to celebrities. So I think that is what I would give
Yes.
this title to the eighth Vidphone
Session, yes.
session of Resilient Women of Mysore.
Wonderful. And so happy to have you, Vijaya. And obviously, she has to, and we will learn so much more about you. And obviously, why Shri and I also decided to do this. A huge part of it was, getting women like you to know, even if your story can impact, one woman out there to start or, to just take that step, that's a big win for us. And it's really just about, sharing your stories candidly and, like a story, like, sharing your life like a story on this platform, how you feel comfortable with sharing. So that's why I was telling you before also, it's not like, there's not a set of questions that it's like we can tell you this, that, but it should be a more of a candid, free flowing conversation. So that is what we want. And I'll just introduce Vijaya Belavadi, who's with us today. She's the co founder and COO of Hype Luxury. She is the national president of Wiki. She has been a seasoned leader and entrepreneur all her life. And like she said, Vijaya wears many hats and she has many accolades. So now over to you, Vijaya. My first question to you would be, tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously your work is a little work would come with it, but also who is Vijaya as a person? What How would you like to open the show with that answer, like something about you, your
Thank
work?
you so much. And that was really great. You both made my day, evening really, really great, because hearing so much, it feels, really great. And thank you so much for having me on this platform. I'm really honored. And, telling about a little bit about myself, and, I'll start with my journey, like, born and brought up in Mysore, or maybe to the audience if you already introduced, but I'll tell my name is Vijaya Belavadi and I'm the co-founder and COO for a company called Hype Luxury, where we provide private jets and luxury yachts and luxury cars for rental in India, UK, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and we've got into US market as well this year. So that's my current position here in the company that I have. And about myself, born and brought up in Mysore, and did my masters in information technology from Mysore University, and got a chance to work with a manufacturing industry as the start of my career, where I got an exposure to see a huge machines, and the work on the shop floor, and get to know the people who are working on the shop floor about the challenges that they face. That was the beginning of my career. And after that, I got married and moved to different cities, and got an opportunity to work in a big multinational companies like Accenture and HP for over almost 2 decades. And that's how I started, and currently I look after the global operations and finance and governance for the company called Hype Luxury. That's about myself. Yeah.
Wonderful, Vijaya. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So a little bit, Vijaya, because you also said, you have moved, because even in your bio, you have been on leadership roles across, and that would be the corporate world. So how did this shift happen to entrepreneurship? What was it like? How did you decide after 2 decades of working in corporate? What was that, turning point where you decided that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Is this Has this always been like in your family, this thing, or was it something you started? How did you come in? What has been that journey of building Hype Luxury, basically?
Yeah, well, for me, it was not planned. But when it comes to having it in a family, yes, definitely. My younger brother, who is also, my partner,
Yeah,
founder of the company,
yeah,
Raghav Belavadi, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he was already successfully running his, couple of startups in Switzerland, and he
yeah,
had that in his, and so we had that in our family. And
yeah,
for me, it was totally like, opportunity which, came across my when I was in a peak of my career in an IT industry. It's
yeah.
like I had never planned that I'll quit my
Job. Yeah, yeah,
job, IT job, and join this as an entrepreneur. But it happened. It was an incident when I had to change that, and I had to change literally from getting a fixed salary for a month to taking a risk of not expecting that every month first I'll get some salary, and so
yeah.
that was a huge transformation from being a IT professional
To
to
an
an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur. But it was very very good for me. Like it was a nice change, and I accepted it. I didn't think twice to when I took this role as an entrepreneur full time with my brother. In fact, we started it 7 years back. So
Mhm.
when we started, it was an incident which made us to start this business, and I never thought like I will quit my job and I am ready to be an entrepreneur. It came with a flow that I joined him, and I worked with him, and I still learning a lot from him. Being an experienced entrepreneur, I'm learning and I'm doing this.
Wonderful, wonderful, Vijaya. And I think that's so beautiful, right? About trusting the process, what you said. Because you maybe even though your brother was doing it, you may have seen it in the family, but still for you, that shift was a huge step, but you, even though maybe you are not so accustomed to what was in store, like, how would that be, like you said, from a fixed salary. So that's just one part of it, right? The salary. There are so many things that come with entrepreneurship, and I think trusting the process was a big thing here. So
Mhm.
that's a takeaway, I would say. So Vijaya, here, another thing, that I wanted to ask you at this point was, obviously you said, entrepreneurship keeps you going now. It has worked out for you. It was a good decision. So is there any, maybe, that customer stories or customer experiences that have stayed with you? Like, Shri just told us a thing, how she was there from 9:30 to 4 p.m., and how it was the process. And these are like more niche customers, I would say. It's not like 50 people would be there taking your services. So is there anything, that has stayed at you, which in turn made you feel more motivated to continue, and in this journey, and made you feel that, yes, this is the, this path is the right one for you? Because obviously, your customers make you feel like, they validate what you are doing in a way. So anything you'd like to share, one or two instances, experiences, maybe with your customer, your team, anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, see, first of all, the luxury industry itself is a very niche segment and a very limited audience and a very limited customers, and we have to be very choosy
Yes,
when we provide a service, because just walk-in customers we cannot give a 2 crore worth
absolutely.
for a self drive.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the instances or an experience, it's always, see, we are in a luxury world, so
Yes.
we always talk to the customer and deal with the customer every day, and it's totally different from any other mass business that we have in a market,
Absolutely.
right? So I personally talk to all my private jets and yachts customer one on one on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and I'll get to learn more thing from them. In
Yes.
fact, we expand our business based on their need, which is
Mhm.
one of the criteria. It's an apart from our vision of growing a
Yeah.
bigger, and
Yeah.
their feedback and their observations makes us to work hard and to make to provide a better service to them. So
Yeah.
for example, if a person is taking a private jet for their family wedding, a destination wedding from Bangalore to Jaipur, somewhere in Rajasthan, the entire journey I will be in touch with that customer, to make everything goes smooth and as expected, or maybe beyond expectation.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, when they come back and tell me that how well it was maintained and how well we service them, and but still, and there are some good things and there are some not so good things which they want us to improve, that feedback helps us a lot to improve ourselves, to make a better service to them, and to
Yeah.
become a better version of ourselves. So
Yeah.
that is the most important, that happens almost every day. There is nothing specific that I can highlight one or two
Yeah.
instances where
Yeah.
the customer has come
The
back.
journey. Yeah. It's a journey of
But
every.
the good part is, when they come back and tell me, and they feel so happy that they'll say that Vijaya, you guys are doing a fantastic job, because we never expected that in a country like India
So
there is
many
a
people.
business
There's
which
a market for that, like such a big
yeah,
market where you can actually create a business out of it.
correct. And there is nobody as a brand, whom you can
Absolutely.
trust to take a private jet or yacht or a luxury car. And most of these customers are millionaires, and they come from Western countries. And there, for them, it's easy. They have an access to all these luxury lifestyles very easily.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
not have to struggle. But in a country like India, they feel
Yeah.
like very limited access. So they
Access. Yeah.
feel so happy, and they say that what we are doing is really a fantastic job.
Yes.
That makes our day memorable. That
Obviously.
happens almost all the time with the private jet customer or a yacht customer who goes on a family vacation for a week in somewhere in south of France.
Yeah.
That experience, and that luxury industry itself is an aspirational journey, experiential journey. So
Obviously.
any small feedback from them makes our day really really good.
Yes. No, wonderful, Vijay, and rightly said. When you spend that much, or it has to be an experience, like the entire process, even if it's just buying a car, or renting out a yacht, whatever it is. Like, it is a process, and that experience is very important for the customer.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Vijaya, for wonderfully sharing that. Before I move on to a set of a few more questions that I have, I would like to hand it over to Shri. because at this point she always gives us, she would always know more things about you. She lets out a lot of some few secrets that she may know about you that we may not know. And over to you, Shri, to ask your set of questions and tell us things you know about Vijaya that maybe Vijaya has been too humble to share about. So over to you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. She is very humble person, grounded person, and as I said, right from first time when I had read about her CV, about her brief, not CV, sorry, about her brief and the achievements, I was floored. I was like, okay, this lady is not just into luxury segment because she is born into the city of palace. She is into luxury segment
In
because
the
she
blood,
actually
the royal
deserves
is
it.
somewhere in the blood. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like just because you were born in Mysore, and Mysore is known for its richness and heritage and blah blah blah. And there are people here who would have like well established families who have a lot of cash or money stashed somewhere, and that's why they are into luxury segment. And we still have the Maharajas, and we still have the the royal culture and everything. So that was not the reason why Vijaya is important for me. For me, she is more important because she was actually a professional, and from the professional part, which again she very rightly said, grounded, she didn't say about it, nor that everybody wants to also, but it was the parents' health which brought her back to Mysore. And she said, I would rather take care of it rather than just have a high flying career. She was having a high flying career, and I think that brings in a lot of deep respect for her, because it's not just about doing the work, but it's about carrying the family the way it should be, or the way it can be. So big kudos, or I don't know whether we can call it even kudos, because for family, if we don't do, who else will do types.
Yeah.
So it's just a responsibility that she has been fulfilling, and that's why giving up the career to but now finding herself doing entrepreneurship, which is even more
Rewarding. Yes.
important. But one single question, Vijaya. India is known for price sensitivity, but India also has one segment which has heritage money, as well as that class, which would like to see the best.
Mhm.
I mean, we have the Maharajas who have been able to buy big
Rolls
cars,
Royce.
and yeah, and then turn it into whatever. The Maharaja of Patiala is known for that. Hey, um, Lamborghini is something which can come out of a basement of a apartment complex. The first time after a long time when I came back to India from Canada, and when I saw Lamborghini backing out on the main road in Jayanagar in Bangalore, I literally had my mouth wide open. I'm like, they are putting Lamborghini in a apartment complex. Well, India is rich.
Mhm.
So that brings in. But there used to be one ad, and I'm hoping that Vijay, you will remember it. That the gentleman goes to buy a yacht, and the first question he asks is, "Kitna deti hai per liter?"
Exactly.
We
That
have a segment of people who are the
yes.
Maharajas, and
Hmm.
we have lived with that idea of the opulence and the
The royalty. Yeah.
royalty. And we have the other segment which is trying to climb up, and they are able to. I must say, even in Mysore, we have lots of success stories here who are millionaires now. But their mindset is still there. कि कितना देती liter pe.
I totally agree with that.
So, in between these two,
Mhm.
how do you balance?
Yeah,
Because richness is not about money, richness
Yeah.
is here.
About the
true.
And you need to know how to use that money to enjoy the richness. That is different. But richness is all about here in the brain, even in your mindset. So, how do you balance? Don't you come across when Ayushree was asking you the previous question? I thought one of these things will come out, but
Yeah.
it did not. I thought I'll ask you this.
Yeah, definitely. It's really a good question. When you said, people, entering into the yacht and ask for kitna dete hai. So that really happens, and we always, my brother and myself, we always, give a simple example, saying that, it's easy to sell one Ferrari to a Ferrari customer than selling 100 Honda cars to a Honda customer, because Ferrari guy knows it, how it is and what is his passion, and everything. We need not have to explain him. He comes to buy a Ferrari because he is a Ferrari guy. Whereas
Correct.
the Honda guy or any other, mass market guy, and we have to tell him 100 things, like how many kilometer it gives, and what is the return of investment, all these things. So we always say that it's better to sell one Ferrari than 100 other normal things. And when you said discount in Indian market, yes, we have that discount mentality still. Many of our customers who buy cars on a click of a button, lakhs and lakhs of rupees, or a private jet, still somewhere at the end of the day they says that, Vijaya, my Indian mentality won't go so soon, so can you give me some discount? We laugh at them, and we give them, because we know that we have a little bit of margin we can accommodate, or sometimes we give a complimentary
Yeah.
upgrade or something like that, just to keep that customer happy. We don't work always for a profit. Customer retaining customer is also very much important, right? So we get both category of customers in this luxury segment. We have made ourselves fit into the market only for luxury. Of course, we tried, little bit of adding premium cars into our segment as a trial and error basis, but it didn't work out well. So we are not into that mass segment. We are into this niche segment of luxury private jets and yachts, and globally, and not restricted to India. So we get both category of customers, and the first category, which they don't mind spending lakhs and lakhs of rupees on a one business meeting, going by in a private jet, right? And they never bother to go into the app, or they never go to the website, because most of our 99% of our customer, as I said, I talk to them directly. I have a one-on-one connection to them. They just drop a message, they just call me and tell me that I need a jet from Bombay to Bangalore, or Bombay to Dubai, something like that, and it happens very, it's very hassle free, a process that I take care of for them. So they, that kind of category of customer, never bother what is the price today, is there any discount, if I book it during weekdays, will it be a lesser price, or weekends, a long weekend, it's a price is more. They never bother. So they don't mind for a discount also. And we have the policy of no discount in hype. But still, that's one customer, one set of customer. The other set of customer, of course, they spend for their leisurely tour or something, but still they have the mindset of asking for more kilometers, or maybe, or more discount on if they are taking it for more days. And if it is a 1 or 2 days, we don't get into that. But definitely, yes, if they are taking a big booking or a big trip,
Yeah.
definitely we give them a lot of discounts. It's not like a discounts, but we waive off something
Some
extra
perks.
that has come, any incidentals that they have cut, that we will waive it off. But it's really an interesting journey with dealing with these kind
Yeah.
of two set of customers, day to day basis.
Correct. And that's why it's a very important. But just another question, Ayushree, before I hand over back to you. The
Please
thing
feel
that
free, Shri. It's your floor.
uh, no, the thing I would like to hear, and been abroad for a good number of years. So the cruises and the yacht thing and the river cruises, a couple of those things have been done in that time of my life, and enjoyed it thoroughly, actually. More also because I'm an outdoor person. I'm not one of those indoor people. So I would love to go out, see the world, and that is something that
Have you
excites.
done that in India?
Not in India. I didn't know that there was anything in India.
Now you can.
Is that right? From Goa to Singapore or something like that? Is that right?
Anything you wish
I
to.
think it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Maybe.
We
Yeah,
are
I wasn't aware actually that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. The yachts, the beautiful yachts. We are in 8 countries: India, Alaska, Bahamas, Maldives, New Zealand, south of France. So many places we have, and you can travel from anywhere to anywhere, at
Mm.
least wherever there is an sea access. And but
Yeah.
private jets, we are there globally.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. So, what is it in this segment, the technology? See, these people who are actually affording these yachts and yeah, the private
Jets.
jets and all those things, they are technologically oriented. Whether they are running whatever kind of business, but they would be more tech driven. So for these people, I mean, they take pride in being tech driven, and that's why most of them are there. Actually, the new millennials or whoever are there are because of the becoming a tech giant also. But what in the industry, Vijaya, that technology excites you a lot for the yachts? Or and we just had one very bad news on the yachts, right? That gentleman who took few people along off the coast of Europe somewhere,
Yeah,
one of the richest billionaires or somebody, and the whole thing went down, I believe.
yeah, yeah.
So there are chances, there are things which we keep hearing, but what in this era, and that's what actually, I was surprised when I knew that the yacht went down. I said, how did it go down? They said no, it just they couldn't save anybody and it went down. Said in this technology era, even in the old movies, we used to say Mayday, Mayday, and we still had people to save our lives. Telling about that in this tech era, you could not see the weather changing, or you could not see a malfunctioning thing, or you could not see a thing which did not work. So, what actually excites you in luxury segment and technology? Because it's all about technology actually in the luxury segment.
Right, right. The technology plays a major role in this because we are all connected virtually. You will be surprised to hear that most of our team who sits in a small town near the Udupi and somewhere near Noida, and they handle private jets and yachts, which is there in somewhere in as I said, south of France or Bahamas. They handle it from there. So you can just think about what is that the role that the technology is playing. You need not have to be there literally in front of the jet somewhere to handle all these the onboarding and offboarding everything, right? So definitely technology plays a pivot role here in dealing all these luxury segment. But when you said there was some incident, we cannot make it a zero defect or a zero incident in any of these segments, right? Any of the business, there are some loopholes, or maybe the as you said, it's a weather condition or technical things. Even the car, the most luxurious car, you can say Maybach or a Rolls Royce, and go down immediately after coming from the showroom. Whereas the 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs a Toyota car, which is you are using it for more than 20 years, runs so smoothly. So you cannot predict that the higher the value of the vehicle or a private jet, it works smoothly, or the lower one will go down very often. That's not like that. So that technology, of course, yeah, it happens sometimes or the other, not regularly, but taking care of it is where that the process comes into picture. The how you maintain that process, end to end process, and you handle that governance of there are some checks and balances, like before that yacht goes into the mid of the sea, what are the things, that's a checklist that you have to check. In spite of doing all those things, if something goes wrong, that's a very bad day to anybody. But yeah, we have by the grace of God, we have a very good, very fantastic technical team who operates in out of Bangalore, and as I said, from a small town near Mangalore. They take care of it, whether it's a product, they take care of it, services, my ops team, we all take care of it so flawlessly. And so far, by the grace of God, everything going smoothly.
No, no, I'm very sure. Yeah, this was one stray incident. We don't hear this every now
Yeah,
and then. So it's a one stray incident. Something has happened. It had to happen. If it was an Indian talking about it, he would say karma anta, and would have left it at that point. That
yes.
well, that is all it is. Last janma karma itto. That's why we something happened. Anta. But this was one such stray incident. My point was that with all these AI and with all these Teslas who are driven without any driver, and you can work around it, was my thing of seeing that whether that has been incorporated, and that must have been. Definitely it has it is incorporated into the all the luxury cars actually. I mean, just the BMWs and the RM, this one Mercedes itself are showing nowadays a very different flavor than what it used to be earlier, let alone that you're talking about all the other brands. One such question, how do you differentiate between the brands, and what is that brings in the loyalty? We have the Mercedes where Panwala also has opened a shop, And we have a BMW where you have the high end of everything there. How do you get to become, or is it just like any other, like iPhone and any other phone, that there is a brand loyalty, and so people keep going back to the same?
True. And people who are about passionate about German cars and rest of the world cars, whatever brand it is, they go with that only. For a Mercedes guy, you cannot sell BMW or a Audi, and he wants that Mercedes at any cost, whether it is the basic model, a C class, or a class. He wants that Mercedes. I have experienced it on a day-to-day basis. Like if I try to sell BMW 7 series also, or a Audi Q7, or higher version of other segments, Jaguar XF or something like that, for a person who was asked for a basic Mercedes E class, but I'll not be able to. He said, no, if you have Mercedes, I'll go with it, otherwise I will wait for it, something like that. So you can just imagine how passionate and how brand oriented
Loyalty, yeah.
this luxury industry is. And in even in the private jet sector, if they are they want to travel in a Gulf Stream, they will not end up buying us. Even if the one person is traveling, he wants a bigger aircraft. That experience of luxury matters for him. Even if it is a lower cost, and if C90 or any other hawker, smaller hawker 600 are available for his journey, he will not go with that. So even if you are trying to sell a smaller one because you don't have the availability of the bigger jets, you cannot do it. They will not agree with that. That is very, very niche segment that luxury industry is. You will not find it.
Absolutely.
You need not have to struggle so much, because earlier days we used to, but now we have seen the pulse of the customer who wants that luxury. Yeah, we deal with that now very, very flawlessly or easily, I can say.
Yeah, I mean, over the period, you do understand the nerve, you
Yeah.
say, right? The nerve of the business. And once you pick up on that nerve in the right manner, I am very sure you will be able to attract the clients, even though there are less number.
Yeah,
Correct.
Um, but then there are less number of people also offering such services. So,
exactly.
in between the two, at least you can still make out which will work for whom. Over to you, Ayushri, and I'll catch up when we are,
Thanks. Yes,
coming
thank
to
you,
the end
Shri.
of the thing.
Thank you, Vijaya, for wonderfully answering everything that she, wonderfully asked. Vijaya, I wanted to, extend and just talk here because we have spoken obviously about the sector, about, the highs of it, how you started, and, what has been your journey around and, the customers, etc. What have been the challenges, Vijaya? Anything, you did speak about, that the maybe sometimes the niche, the how you have to approach all that, but any specific challenges that you feel based on this industry that you want to talk about, or how you have been able to overcome something, or some maybe a work in progress, a little bit on that, Vijaya.
There are a lot of challenges. I can categorize that into two, at least. One, as a woman, being a woman entrepreneur or being a woman founder, that's one biggest challenge. The second one is the business, which is very, very niche segment and a limited audience. So these two are the major challenges in my industry, like in luxury industries, and in our company also. So when I say that, challenges as a women entrepreneur, like, as any other women entrepreneur, there are so many obstacles, there are so many barriers, societal barriers or a gender bias. There are so many setbacks, and you will face a lot of such uncertainty in your day to day life. And I think now women entrepreneurs are marching ahead, they are forging ahead, and breaking all those stereotypes and creating a successful business for them. And also, with that, we can see that women are rising above all these obstacles, and creating that sense of determination and resilience. And in my industries, like in my company, in my case, what I can say is it's an automobile industry, and it's a very big challenge for me. Women in automobile industry means it's a male dominated world, and if you want to do something there, or if you want to achieve something, and if you want to make a mark over there, you have to find a way how to get into that. That's the biggest challenge for me. And every challenge, of course, brings you an opportunity to learn. And from the day one, when I shifted from the IT professional to abruptly, suddenly into an entrepreneur journey. It's, of course, it took a long time, and it's still I am learning. It's really, it's a very vast and, deeper, when the vision becomes a bigger from the starting day one, and for the time now and in the future, it's a lot of learning, and these challenges are there.
Yeah.
But in business, what I can say is, a lot of challenges, especially for luxury industries in India. It is always like a, infrastructure, that, the how best it we, not best, as of now it's improving, but the infrastructure problem, or maybe the system that is evolving, on a timely basis, and the mindset of, the driving habits of the customers, all these, brings a lot of challenges.
Just
It's not like, people are aware of, and they don't even know what they expect from the luxury industry, right? All these are challenges, we face on a day to day basis.
yes.
It makes us better by, giving ourselves more, and we'll not be aware of it, what we have within ourselves, like, hidden
Absolutely.
talent or maybe skill. We try to do that, and we'll get to learn all those things, and we'll overcome with those challenges and turn it into a better version in the business, whether it is a product or service. We make it look better, because we are into the industry where we serve customer. So small thing going wrong will, impact in a huge way. So
Yeah.
we have to learn and, take care, convert that challenge it into an opportunity, and make it in a better service way.
No, absolutely. And I think what you said, when it's a niche and when you are into luxury, then it also happens that, you are, I mean, when you rent out or, you are giving a car to someone, that customer understanding that is also very important, right? I mean, that the risk appetite for you guys also, because, instead of just giving away a normal car for rent or like, there's a huge difference. You have to be more careful. There are a lot of things involved for you guys also, when you are renting and letting it out. So wonderful, Vijay. And like you rightfully said, when like, she also started with this thought. Then when we talk of luxury or think of luxury, if we go towards fashion, then you can associate a women more, Gucci or Louis Vuitton, etc. But when you talk of cars or automobile, that is still a growing this thing. We don't see much of it yet. Like, so obviously, I mean, I'm sure that has its own challenges, but wonderfully said, Vijaya, and kudos to you for all the wonderful work. We hope to see much more of you and the wonderful work you are doing. So, Vijaya, one more question before I come to my last question is anyone you would want to mention or, who have played a big role in your journey, personally or professionally, who has inspired you, who keeps you going? Anyone, and there might maybe more than one. Whenever I ask this question, I always get that, there's not one person who helps.
True.
But still, anything, you can also just on over to you to share if there's anyone you want to talk about.
Yeah, without anybody's help, we will not be able to achieve anything, whether it is a man or woman. It's very difficult. For me personally, it's like all men in my family, I can say, to start from my father, my brother, my son, my husband. Everybody, they are so supportive, and they motivate me, and they never told me, like, they never give me hard time saying that why
Yeah.
are you quitting this job, and taking a risk in life at this stage, in a peak of your career. So I would say that personally, a lot of support from all men or all my family members. But in the business, like, what I can say is, most of the time, we always emphasize on certain things, like, where we don't get a readily available guide or a mentor or advisor who can help us, especially when you're creating the thing which is not existing in the market,
Yeah.
right? So luxury industry, and these, especially the luxury mobility, where the private jets, yachts, everything was never existed in the industry.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Western countries it was, but in
Yes.
India we started that, and now we handle almost the 21,000 private jets globally, and you can just imagine 32,000 cars globally, and in India itself 14,500 cars.
Wonderful.
Globally, we have luxury yachts somewhere around 2,500. We have access to 2,300. The why we don't have access 100%, that's a different story altogether, because we don't onboard anything and everything that comes in as, tagging, like, she was telling that she bought an Audi A7, and if people, individual people, also individual owner of the car also comes and onboard their cars if they are having multiple cars, and onboard their cars to hype. And that's why we are also creating an entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs in this business. So
Yeah.
like like I said, it's always like what I say, sorry, I missed that. No, we
Uh,
were saying that sorry, the
it's,
person who are influenced, right? So
yes.
I'm so sorry for that.
No
I
problem.
got lost in between. And when in these luxury industries, customers are like, we always emphasize that it's not easily everything is available. You
Yeah.
have to deal with it. You have to dig out everything for yourself. And here, customers plays a major important role for us. Their contribution is more for us
Yeah.
to grow in these industries. And of course, bits and pieces, there are a lot of people who has helped us to to grow in this business, but majorly it's always the customers. The
Absolutely.
service of the customer that we are giving, they are the one who contributes us, they are the one who tells us like what they exactly want. And that's how we are growing today with
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
No, absolutely, Vijay. And and a very key point here, what you said, in turn, you are helping people be entrepreneurs in a way.
Mm.
They being able to use your platform to do something. So that's a wonderful thing, to rent out their cars or however, right? They own a luxury item that, like luxury automobile that they can rent out. So that's in a way. So that was a very key thing. So thank you for sharing that. Shri, my last question to Vijaya would be, obviously, how obviously you have a global business, you work virtually, you have like global clients, etc., but still, being a entrepreneur from Mysore, how has it been? So, how has the difference been? Have you ever felt like a tier 2 city? What are the pros and cons of, being an entrepreneur from a tier 2 city? Or have you ever like felt like, if you were in Bangalore or Mumbai, would that have been better for you? Like, I'm just asking, what are your thoughts on this? Or how
For
has
me,
being in Mysore maybe has helped your business in a positive way? So what?
yeah, see, for us as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you will not find that as a challenge, because
Yeah,
for us, we are working virtually.
virtually, yeah.
From the day one, we have adopted that culture of working from home. Most probably, not all the time, but whenever there is a need, we gather and we work together. Common workplace. But for us, it has always been working remotely, and whether it is a tier one city or two or three, it doesn't make
That
much
doesn't,
difference
yeah.
for us. We
Yeah.
can connect and deal with the customers or partners and everywhere, like remotely. But for the users, in terms of customer perspective, definitely there is a lot of difference. In tier one cities, what happens, people are more of a like click of a button, they need everything within a minute, right? Time is more important for us, and they are into technology, they make use of the technology to the extent that they don't want to stand in a long queue, and instead they order it and get the things done within a minute, right? They are more to that, and they are more risk taking people. Doesn't mean that tier 2 or 3 city people are not less risk taking, but for the awareness of using the technology in the smaller towns like Mysore and other smaller town cities, it's very less. For them is, they can do it leisurely. They need not have to do get the things delivered within 5 minutes. They will just go and walk and get the things from the nearby grocery stores, instead of using an app and pay 50 rupees extra over there. So the decision making, the cycle or the time is very very less over there in tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's always advantages for us. Whether it's a city 1 or 2, doesn't matter for us. The
Doesn't
customer is what
matter.
feels like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, thanks, Vijaya. Thanks for, that's an important question, because obviously, we are talking about entrepreneurs from Mysore. And this is actually also a one, like, series session. It has also started with a different kind of business here. Also, your business being completely virtual.
Yeah.
And we at Vidphone also, and I think Jagat has joined us at the right time. Jagat, yeah. So hi Jagat. Yes, Vijaya was just telling us, about how her business is virtual. She's running a complete business of luxury automobiles, yacht, etc. And you have been hearing the conversation, and she has a virtual business. So I was just about to tell her, how obviously she's, we are about virtual work, hybrid work, etc. And that's it's, and she's one of a kind of the entrepreneurs in this series who has joined us, and we have seen like. virtual business. All the others had maybe manufacturing setups in Mysore, or I mean, different kinds. So thank you, Vijaya. Thanks a lot for wonderfully sharing everything with us very candidly. It was wonderful knowing about your journey, and all the best for the road ahead. Shri, anything you would like to share? Before I ask Jagat to share a few things on what he thinks, or anything you would like to share with everyone.
So the idea of this whole series that we started, Vijay, was to see how we can bring in virtual reality. That's what it is called, actually, not virtual world, virtual reality, which Jagat and Ayushree are building, and it's a baby's, it's a Jagat's baby, actually. But yeah, equally Ayushi is invested in this whole idea as well as in this whole business, because very strongly they feel that the world has shrunken, you know, because of all the places that we have. I mean, today you don't even think twice to say, "Oh, I was on the call in the evening with US client." ठीक है, मतलब it's part of your life. Same thing 10 years back, if you said, they thought that you were kind of showing off. It was not taken that easily, or accepted at least. And this is what it's not in Bangalore, but Mysore, definitely I learned this. So generally I used to refrain myself from telling all these things. When I still remember, when it's now nearly 10, 12 years that this A6 I bought at that time. But believe me, I wouldn't take that car out unless really I had to go to some meetings, or it was a long drive and you knew that the torque is so good and
Yeah.
the suspension is so good that you can go, without having a bad back when you come back. So those were the places where I actually used it, or what. But definitely, I must say one thing, that you are an inspiration for me, not because you are here on the show. Inspiration from the time that I knew that you are in this segment. Inspiration for me from the time that I say it's not about capitalism. It's not about just earning money. It's about challenging yourself to
Yeah.
that level that you don't have to think before you buy such things, or you make some take some things like this on hire and just keep those memories for your life. So, especially coming from Mysore city, it becomes very difficult here. Very laid back attitude. You had a car, you had a bike, a cycle. You would buy a bike, and you would be happy. You had a bike, you would buy a car, and you would be happy. Maruti 800, I think they sold most of it in Mysore only.
True.
After that, it became Centro Iton also, big time sales here. You don't see very many people. Now it's different, but at least last few years, I didn't see very many luxury cars here. I had
Yeah.
only one guy, and I can tell you, every single time I used to see this, my heart used to cry for Porsche, because Porsche has this brand, this car called Cayennes, right? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this guy in Mandya has a jet black Porsche, and
That's
he wears a dhoti, a starched dhoti, and something on his shoulder, that's uparna, we say, a small this one, and white starched t-shirt, and he used to come from Mandya to Channapatna to have one cup of coffee.
okay.
And my I think so, whatever I can say, luck or whatever, whenever I used to go to Bangalore, I used to find this man coming in for just that cup of coffee. And the gentleman would actually sit in that car like this, like his feet closed. And I always used to think that if those guys come to know about it, they're going to really talk about it as the brand is getting diluted. But there are that, what I'm trying to bring to the notice is, there are that kind of people also, who know what luxury is, who know and they appreciate that luxury, but at the same time they're really grounded,
Yeah.
and they live that life in the same fashion, whether it is a Porsche Cayenne or whether it is a Toyota, they would be in the same domain. Now, when you see these two stark differences, Vijaya, my last question maybe to you, and which always makes me feel this: how do you justify it, and especially in this world right now, where we all talk about mindful living, right? We all talk about it and we talk big about it, right?
Yeah.
So where do you justify? It's good to use your brain and come to that level that you can afford one,
Right.
but is it really the thing that you would go after? So where would you justify between these two, that you have one segment which can buy it and be grounded, but at the same time you have another segment which just wants to show off?
Yeah, these are the two categories in luxury industries. And even if the person is not so filthy rich, but he will do that because he want to show off.
Yes.
That's one category of, people who are in this industry. The another one is totally against, dead against, like, they are filthy rich. And in that two variety of category, customers, again, people don't want to spend a single. Why I go in a Rolls Royce? I know I'm okay with my Toyota. I'm going alone anyway. That one kind of people in the rich segment. And at the same time, people who are so rich, and they don't bother about spending it because they want that experiential lifestyle. It's their lifestyle, actually. It's not in a kind of
Correct.
show off that they want to do. So especially after this pandemic, people, that mindset have been changed now.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
earlier people, like, it's only for a, big Marwadi weddings, the Rolls Royce was going there, or maybe a politician's daughter's wedding, it used to go there, or maybe a celebrity, is a cricketer, they used to use and till today many people ask us, do people take Rolls Royce? And
Oh,
they
yes.
wonder, there are so many people asking that, you give Rolls Royce for rental, you give private jets, people travel in a private jet and they book through your app. It's so, it's so
Yeah.
weird. Maybe for them it's, thinking about, like, is it possible? Because they are not used to it. But now what happened is, especially after the good, for the, a good part of the pandemic, is like, people started thinking that, we have to experience that. Earlier days, people used to save that for future. And when they came to know about there is no future at all, everything slashed down in a minute, maybe. So they started thinking that whatever we have, if we experience today, that's at least good, and on top of it, it's a hygiene factor. And
Yeah.
people did not want to travel in a city bus. They wanted to drive in a E class or a S class or whatever it is. They wanted safety for themselves and their loved ones. They started changing their mindset towards the luxury. And slowly, I always say that once you are used to this luxury, you will never go back. Once start driving an E-class, you will never go back to any other model, and you will get accustomed to that. A similar example for that is, we pay 400 or 500 rupees for a coffee in a Starbucks or maybe in a Oberoi hotel, whereas the actual coffee is only 20 rupees in any of the fast food or ODP hotel, right? So, but when you go there to Oberoi or any other, big Starbucks and pay 400, you will feel that ambience, and you will feel so great about having coffee sitting over there and posting some pictures in a social media, and you feel that status. Once you are used to it, you never go back to that, and that luxury becomes a part of your lifestyle. So that mindset, these generation, not only millennials but also the people, post pandemic, as I said, they started taking that as their lifestyle, which is very good. And we can categorize those two people, when they come as a customer, whether it is just a one time show off customer, or it's a lifetime commitment. To your surprise, most of our customers are repeat customers. More than 40%, they are repeat customers, whether it's a private jet or a yacht or a luxury cars. They are our repeat customers. And we are getting into space, travel as well. My brother, he has been shortlisted to travel to space in maybe 2025, through Virgin Galactic. So the bigger vision of our company is to getting into the space sector as well. So my brother will be the first person to travel, and he will experience that, and so that we can bring that into a common man. So that's our
Wow.
bigger vision of the company.
Huge, huge, really huge. I mean, I have heard that people do it, but I will not, never know in this close quarters that, yeah, oh, I know somebody whose brother went there, or
No,
tomorrow
he's
she's
he's
going.
getting trained for that from almost 1.5 year. From last 2 years back, they started doing that. There are a lot of process into it, and
Yes, yes.
medical checkup, and they will get to you to do that simulation test, and they will give you a rigorous training on that before you get into the space travels. And I think you might have seen that he had met the lady Sirisha Bandla, who is from Virgin Galactic, and she traveled all the way down to Bangalore to meet him and to tell that he has been shortlisted for traveling to space. Of course, it's taking a little bit longer time. He had plans to fly in 2024 in this year, but there are still process which is going on, which may take another year or so, 25. Hopefully, by end of 2025, he will travel to space through Virgin.
Wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Vijaya. Thank you so much for sharing. Before I hand it over to Jagat, I would just like the audience. I can see that some people may have, we are a little over time, so maybe, but I would just like to, ask anyone. We have enabled the raise hand. If anyone wants to, please come on video and, share, ask anything to Vijaya and Sri Lakshmi, or also share something. We had told that we would love to hear what our audience, what are you guys doing, so we can really get you guys in and just know a little bit on what you guys are doing. Please feel free to use the raise hand option. And meanwhile, Jagat, over to you to share your thoughts, anything that you'd like to share. And yeah.
No, a lot of absorbing. I think is really wonderful. So first of all, kudos again. I think wonderful to see Shri back. I hope you're good.
Hi.
Super awesome to see this Mysore, entrepreneurship ecosystem. This whole initiative. I think it's wonderful to see it back. Hi Vijaya, really, really amazing. The kind of work. So congrats, on all of the wonderful work. And I didn't know that you could, had a company like that. So that's really
Yeah.
awesome. So
See,
absolutely amazing. And especially in an industry like you were saying, like in the auto industry, and you got to
Yeah.
it's always not easy, and that makes it all the more, I think, sweet, the fact that you're doing it. So kudos. I think I'm super happy. I just
thank you so much.
learned most of the times here, as Ayushree also has been with the CWE. So there's always been, I think, for us, uh, I was reading a statistic recently, right? So over 70-80% of the influencers are all women.
Yeah.
It's a staggering statistic. I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought all the guys are doing the YouTube shots or the videos, but 70-80% of the influencers are women. And when you look at a platform like Vidphone, like Shri was saying, of course, I think when we have these kind of stories, Vijaya's kind of stories, where even the guys are not doing it, and here she is building that. I think that kind of puts everything in a very, very good light. So awesome to have you with us. Very unique business, and it's our privilege to have you. So, and Shri again, so great. The right people to bring in. So
Yes.
yeah, it's been fantastic. Look forward to more.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jagat.
Thanks, Jagat. Thank you, Shri, Vijaya. Vijaya, and like Jagat said, Vijaya, we would like to be connected even beyond this. And, because
Definitely.
stories like you are, even for us at Vidphone, we look for stories like you and entrepreneurs like you, and we'll obviously talk about it more one on one and see how we can collaborate and help you too with what we are doing. Thank you, Shri, for introducing us to Vijaya. We hope to have Rachana on the next session. It was unfortunate that she could not join us. But thank you again. The recording of this session would be available on the same link once we exit the session. Thank you, everyone who joined us, Nidhi, Ramesh,
Thank
Chandni,
you, everyone.
everyone who's viewing us live.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jagat. Thanks, Shri. Thanks, Akhil, for all the support. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you and
Have a
audience
wonderful,
as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
sure, Vijaya. Thank you. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening, all,
You too.
everyone.
Have a
Bye.
great. Bye bye.